Hey everybody, Patrick here, Bayou Outdoors 365, and I'm pumped. I'm excited for 2024 for many reasons, but one of the reasons has to do with a sort of new bass fishing tournament circuit coming to more northwest Louisiana. It's called the Louisiana Team Tournament Trail. And Greg Hicks right here, a gentleman with Antlers and Hicks. I guess that's your podcast, what you do, and all that's with us right now. And I met Greg before. And, Greg, first of all, thank you for being part of this. But second of all, so people know who you are, what is Antlers and Hicks? And what world do you do? Because I know right now I've been watching videos of you. You've been scoring some deer for some, I guess, some big buck competitions.
Yeah, see, I'm a Buckmaster scorer. I'm an official Buckmaster scorer. I've been an official scorer since 2012. And what Buckmasters is, it's just a scoring program. You know, you got Pope and Young, you got Boone and Crockett, you got Buckmasters. It's like Coke, Dr. Pepper, and Pepsi. And but see, I do Buckmasters. So we have a buck contest in Union Parish at K&M Coffee Corks and Camo. And Patrick, it started when I first got the certification. I was like, well, I guess this and $1 get me a cup of coffee. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And about that time, we brought in the contest, and I started scoring contests, scoring these deer for people, and doing it on Facebook Live. And one of my buddies, after one of the Facebook Lives, I was driving home, and he called me. He said, "Hey, man, have you ever thought about a podcast?" He said, "Because you up there with those people talking is, hearing the story is just really good." I was like, "No, I haven't." So started a little podcast. I'm still growing it. It's not real big. It's on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, that stuff like that. And so yeah, we just have fun with that. And then last year, I walk into K&M on one night on January night, and there sat Dale Taylor. And Dale said, "Hey, I need to ask you about something." And I said, "What?" He said, "Would you MC our weigh-ins for what at that time was ARCLA Team Tournament Trail?" Dude, I got no idea about a weigh-in. I mean, God gifted me with the ability to talk.
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "I get up here and talk with them." And, here we are. And I'm going to tell you, Patrick, I absolutely love it. I met you last year at
Mhm.
the Lake Clavern event,
Mhm.
and man, that was a good one. And it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, it's become a really big event. So now this year they're doing things a little bit different. The name has changed. So
Mhm.
that basically means all the tournaments take place in North Louisiana. And in reality of it is, I know you were over from more of the northeast part of the state, but a lot of these tournaments have shifted over from north central to northwest part of the state here. I mean, you guys are going to be coming over to places like Caddo Lake to do some fishing over here and with it. And I know one of the things they pride themselves on is the based on a certain number of entries, giving out a good, solid payday. And that's
Yeah.
a pretty cool thing too there with it. So, I mean, what do you think about that with that aspect of it, but also shifting over into the northwest part of the state?
Well, when Dale approached me, he said, and that was a selling point. He said, "Greg, this is the largest payout of any bass tournament in Louisiana." I said, "Okay." And he said, "These are the best of the best." And I'm thinking, all right. So I looked into it, $5,000 payout. I mean, it's five tournaments, $5,000. Now the entry fee is 1,250 bucks, and that may make you kind of a little bit, but once you
Right.
think about it, hey, if you win one of the five, you get $5,000. But if you come in second, you get $1,500. If you come in third, you get $1,200.
Mhm.
So if you finish third place in one of these tournaments, you've made your entry fee right there. And I mean, so that was cool. And I'm like, okay, Dale, well, where are we going? Well, like you said before, we went, a couple places in North and South Arkansas. We stayed mainly in northeastern Louisiana. But as I'm getting more, so when I took this, man, I don't know if how you are, brother, but when I get into something, I'm in.
Yeah.
I started researching bass fishing podcasts. I started researching all kind of stuff, and I really quickly saw how much bass fishing was in northwestern Louisiana. I'm like, okay, so talking with the guys, and one thing led to another, and they said, yeah, the plan is to take in some of that northwestern Louisiana. So this year we're coming to Caddo Lake, we're coming to Lake Bistineau. That's two lakes that I'm excited about. I was on Lake Bistineau, gosh, back when I was a kid. And let me tell you, Patrick, I got on that thing at nighttime, and the guy that I was with, we're riding, and I looked back at him and I said, "I really hope you know where we are because I don't have a clue." I mean, there was nothing but cypress trees everywhere. So that's all I know about Lake Bistineau right now. But I'm interested and anxious to get back over there and check that out. And I know that there's some really good fish come out of Caddo Lake. So I'm excited about 2024 and moving to the western part of the state.
I'm looking over here some of the different lakes here. You got Caney Lake, a lake that has a huge
Ooh,
reputation as far as big bass is concerned. Caddo Lake over here, another lake, again, that, is a huge reputation with it, fishing in March. I mean,
hmm
it should be very interesting to see what that lake is like there. You start off at Caney, then you go over to a lake there that you all, if I'm not mistaken, fished your championship on last year, Darbone,
that's right.
over there in Farmerville area. And then you come to Bistineau after that. And then we go to Lake Claiborne. And so then you end up having your championship afterwards. So you have some pretty impressive lakes there that are calculated. Because even Claiborne, when I saw you last year at it, and that was towards more the beginning of the season, if I'm not mistaken with it. It might have been, but Claiborne can put on quite a show sometimes. And on that particular day, it did put
Yes,
on
sir.
a show there with it. So all those lakes there are just top notch lakes with it. And I know sometimes too, in talking to the tournament trail, it was like, are people going to travel and do things? And I'm like thinking, you know what? Anybody in Northwest Louisiana that's interested in fishing, this is the tournament trail to take a look at and get involved in because you don't have to travel that far. The farthest away you have to travel is like Darbone,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's it. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And see, I grew up in Farmerville. And
Yeah,
so Lake Darbone, they'll draw it down. They want to, draw it down for management purposes and so that the homeowners can do maintenance on their docks and whatnot like that. But this will be a drawdown year. And the guys all over the place will tell you Darbone fish is the best. The weights are the best. Everything's the best the year they draw it down. They're going to draw it down Labor Day of 24. So coming in this year, Darbone, I anticipate Darbone putting on a show because of the weights. And like you just said, Caney and Caddo right off the jump, both of them are going to be in March. I think Caney's going to be the first weekend, Caddo's the last weekend. That's going to be two heavy hitters right off the jump. Then we come to Darbone, go to Bistineau and Claiborne. And Lake Claiborne, there's a lot. Hey, I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people talking about the fish that are coming out of Lake Claiborne these days. So I anticipate a really good show from all five lakes.
the only thing, and this is not a negative, but it's the only bad part about it is because it's a little different than the other lakes are, and I don't know all the slots on the other lakes. Caddo Lake can put on a show. It can. And if somebody can go out there and catch 5 fish over the slot, it's going
hmm
to put on a huge show. I think when it comes to tournaments, that's the only downfall to it is the slot that is there with it. But I think no matter what, it's going to be a good time to be had there. And if somebody comes in catching 5 fish over the slot, they will be in contention on Caddo Lake for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you and I were talking earlier about the high school stuff. We had some guys in the high school ranks
Yeah.
fishing with us last year. Hey, they held their own, son. I
Mhm.
mean, these kids can stick it. And, and you're thinking, okay, well, they're just fishing against regular Joes. No, we've got people who have fished in the pro circuit. And one guy who's content, maybe one or two guys who still fish in that pro am tournament. So there's some guys in there that can fish, and like Dale told me, the selling point, it's the best of the best. I honestly believe that right here in the northern part of the state, from all the way to Texas to Mississippi, we got some of the best guys that can catch fish anywhere.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing for sure. You said something about the high schoolers. I don't want to fish up against some of those high schoolers.
No,
They are so smart and they know how to put on a show there with it. I'm so impressed with some of them, but that's a group I never want to. Second of all, Lake Bistineau, Lake Claiborne, those areas there. I know we're talking about bass fishing and all. Do you ever do crappie fishing on those lakes? I'm just curious.
yes, well, I haven't fished on those lakes, but Darbone is one that I fished on. And yeah, I've heard of those lakes for sure in the crappie fishing world. That's something that's really coming on. That's something else I do on the side. I MC for a crappie trail.
Dude, I tell you
So
what, the crappie circuit is big. When you get ready to come over to Bistineau, you let me know that you want to come over here. I'm going to hook you up, bring you on out there. We'll go fishing with the guy doing his big Sasquatch, Wesley Miller.
oh my God, I don't want to fish with that guy.
You don't
No,
want to fish with Wesley?
I love Wesley Miller. I mean, dude, when I was telling somebody the other day, I needed a podcast. And I said, I'm gonna get Wesley. I'm like, man, y'all always get Wesley. I'm like, Wesley can catch fish and Wesley can talk. I
Yep.
said, yeah, we're gonna get him. I mean, dude knows what he's doing.
You
And if
do.
you look at his social
Yeah.
media, they're catching fish every single time they hit the water.
Exactly, exactly. Wesley's that could be another subject for another day for on down the road, but I always have fun when I go out there and go and fish with him. But we'll wrap it up right now. So again, we want to encourage people. If they're watching this right now, it is time to go think about getting signed up for the Louisiana Team Tournament Trail because this event here hopefully is going to be a big one in 2024.
Yeah, and one thing that we haven't talked about, Patrick, is the championships that we do.
Yeah,
We did the championship on Lake Darwin. We've talked about the $5,000 payout.
yeah,
We haven't talked about the payout for the championship, which was $15,000.
yeah.
Now that
Wow.
was a 3 day. That was a 3 day tournament, and Calvin Harris and Tony Lusby won that one. And hey, man, I'm gonna tell you something. That was absolutely great. And I think the thing that got me was these guys finally relaxed with me. They didn't know who I was from Adam, brother. And so when I'd get them on stage and talk to them, they just sull up, right? Well, by the end of it, we were laughing and carrying on. And I believe it was Mr. Calvin. He said that his son, who was in bad health, had been texting him all day. He said, "Man, this is for my son." He said, "He's been texting me all day. He's been fishing with me all day via text message. And every time I catch one, we talk about it." And he held up that trophy. Man, that got me in my heart, man. It got me in my feelings. And we're just a big family. At the end of it, I feel like they were part of my family, and I love every one of them, and I love to see them. Can't wait to see them this year in 24.
Well, hopefully we'll have a great year this year. Again, everybody get signed up for it. This is a big thing, trying to take, the fishing in the state of Louisiana to the next level with a huge payday, for that team that comes out on first place and even for some of those other ones that as well as place. But get signed up, go to their Facebook page, go to their website now and get signed up for it. It is the Louisiana Team Tournament Trail. And Greg, we appreciate your time and opportunity to chat about this.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate you, and we'll do it again sometime.